evolved to manifest than others. And sometimes the timing's right, sometimes it isn't. That's also another factor.
Yeah. We have to factor in destiny here. I mean, destiny is a reality. Destiny meaning the arena of experience that has not yet, that no experience has occurred in yet, as far as we know. So, i.e., the future. A destiny is what provides experience for us to continue. And there is a pattern to destiny, which began at the beginning of the universe. Like when you go bang and things come into being, they move in a certain pattern. We just know that. Might not be able to fathom the pattern because it's way too complex, but they definitely move in some sort of pattern. And therefore, they continue moving in that pattern. And yeah, there is exponential quantum development as it goes along, which makes it imponderably unfathomable to even figure out. I'm sure somebody will one day. But it will inevitably move the way it's going to move and always was going to and always will. And that's where the paradox comes in, that within that general trend, so to speak, it does seem possible to kind of move the current a bit this way, a bit that way, so that you can swerve this and go towards that. It seems like that anyway. So you have to be aware that when you're willing for something to come into being, it might take decades because the timing of it in your destiny isn't for it to happen until then. And that I've experienced that. I'm experiencing it now. And when I was 30, if I'd have been told you're going to have to wait 30 odd years for such and such, so as someone did say to me, I was like, no, 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 no. But now, having done that and it came round, I could see, oh, beautiful. That was so much better to come this way because I really get the value from it now. It's so much better than had it happened then. It would have actually messed me right up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point. Never questioning the wisdom of destiny.
Yeah, I know when I first started out on my spiritual path, I always wanted to be a medium. And if someone had told me then it will take at least 10 years before you are even halfway proficient at it, I probably would have given up for it there and then. 10 years? What do you mean 10 years?
Mm,
But
mm.
but obviously, you needed, I needed, so many things, more life experience, spiritual growth, etc., the ability to carry the energy and so on. But yeah, I'm just wondering, I'm putting you on the spot here, but for those watching live, is there any chance you could talk us through a little guided visualization reference to manifesting? Is that something, like I say, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is that something you could do for us, Stephen? Please.
I live on the spot.
Yeah.
But could you, would you want to specify what manifesting what, or just manifesting in
Um,
general?
I guess manifesting generally, I suppose, if those watching would hold their own particular intention as to what it is they would like to bring into being, bring
Yeah,
into
we'll do this.
and I
Yeah.
guess just experiencing your methods or one of your techniques. I know you've got infinite amounts, but it'd just be nice to hear your voice and have us guided. It would be a real treat. So
You
uh,
are so kind. You're such a lovely man. Thank you
likewise,
for all these
likewise.
kind things you're saying. I'm making this up as I go along, right? So
I do as well.
I have no idea what I'm going to say yet. All right. Let yourself relax, and if you can, close your eyes. Close your eyes. If you can't, don't worry about it. But focus in your own space rather than on stuff going around you, on around you. Let your body slump internally. Like let the weight of your head, chest, and shoulders slump like a bleh, and drop down into the lower part where it wants to go. And let yourself feel heavy on the chair. But at the same time, imagine someone standing behind you, lifting the back of your head upwards so that the back of your neck gets long. And that way, your spine is upright. And therefore, you have dignity, which is the literal meaning of dignity. It means being upright. And and yet your weight is dropped down, so you have gravitas. You're like with the world. You've got your feet on the ground, so to speak. But the head and the chest, the head area, very light, kind of floating upwards as if to the heavens. So it's like you're in heaven, in the realm of heaven, but you're still with your feet on the ground. It's the idea of that. Let the two shoulders broaden out like from each other, move away from each other to give you more breadth across your chest. between the shoulder blades, just to give your heart a bit more space and your lungs a bit more room to do the breathing. Allow your solar plexus, your upper abdominal area, your stomach, to soften and let go a little bit, just a little bit. It will always be a bit tight there, but let it relax a little bit. And then notice that that encourages you to want to take slightly longer, slower, more luxurious breaths. So become aware of the rise and the fall of your belly as the breath enters and leaves, and start to enjoy the actual mechanical, uh, start to enjoy the process of the breath moving in and out of your body. Being aware that when you're doing that, you are actually interacting with the entirety, or at least in the atmosphere of the planet, because it's the same air everybody's breathing. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So you're breathing in the air of the universe, if you like, and you're breathing out the air of the universe to everyone again. You're partaking of some kind of basic intrinsic interaction of life force exchange, basically. As well as which, be aware that each out breath expels or dissolves the illusory ties that bind you to your memories of the past. It doesn't mean you get amnesia, to the contrary, your memories become a lot sharper and more focused, but that you no longer feel compelled to ascribe those memories the significance that you were giving them hitherto, i.e., trauma memories no longer can hurt you because they've gone. Joyful memories no longer going to swell your head, for example, or make you nostalgic because they're gone too. But you honor them all because it was all the Tao. So there's that feeling of being comfortable with your own story, with who you are. And you are releasing all the connection to everything that's gone before every time you breathe out. So you're fresh, you're empty, ready to receive the next moment of life coming in. And it may seem irrelevant to manifesting this, but it's intrinsic. The incoming breath is bringing you your next moment of life, which essentially is all you have or that you can rely on. And that next moment of life is the only thing that is going to facilitate you manifesting anything and everything. So this next breath of air in has to be honored and treated with respect as being the very fundamental ground of you being able to do your manifesting magic. So we're honoring the breath. And you then become aware that you have a front part of your body and a back part of your body. The front part of your body is where you conduct your internal narrative, the stories that you tell yourself to describe the world to yourself, which stories were developed from when you were a tiny child. And I love children. I have three grown men, sons of my own. I've done many baby massage sessions. I've been at many births doing acupuncture. I love babies. I love children. But you got to admit, I mean, 2-year-old who were starting to create a story. What do they know about anything, really, man? I mean, haven't got a clue about how the world works yet. That's the story you're running on. And that's the story that's running in the inside of the forehead there constantly, with arguments going on about it, debates going on about it, evaluations going on about it, and so on and so forth. And the reaction to all of that is tension in the belly. That's why the belly's always tight. It's because as animals, we're programmed over millions of years to be afraid, and right that we are, because it keeps us alive, keeps us out of danger. But because the immediate danger of wild animals, people with clubs in their hands and what have you, and dying of starvation and what have you, are relatively removed from our experience now. Our intellects do not know what to do with the impulse of fear, so they create stories, and we're really good at it. So we believe the stories, and we think they're reality, but they're not. But they are going on, and they rule us, and we react to them in our bellies and get fearful or excited or what have you, all according to the stories we're telling ourselves. And that will never change. It doesn't matter how enlightened you become. It doesn't matter how transcendent you become. That will always be going on. It's what it's there for. It's the entertainment going on in the front of your body and brain at all times if you want to tune into it. However, the rear part of you, everywhere backwards of the middle of your ear holes, roughly, is the original part of you. It's where you grew out of in the womb as an embryo. The cells started in the back, in the spine, and grew outwards towards the front from there. It's your original home. When you fight with Taoist boxing skills, you always stay firmly back inside. So when you deliver a blow, you're using your body weight falls in behind it. When you receive a blow, you're able to yield and withdraw all the way into the back. And the front part of you might have a moment of fear seeing an oncoming fist or foot, but you will not feel fear. You'll just be fascinated by the play of energy going on and therefore able to operate far better. So what we're doing here is we're allowing ourselves to take occupancy of the rear part now. Feel the breath in your back, feel the breathing going on in your back, and it entices you backwards. You start feeling like you're starting to sit back in a very well designed bucket seat in a racing car. And as you sit back in the seat, so that you're leaning right back inside, with your head leaning right, your mind rather leaning right back into the back of your skull, you realize you've got a far greater view of the road, a much more panoramic view of the racetrack. And so you've got more power over the vehicle. Now, the front part of you, where all the engine is and all the noise is going on, is not your concern because it's got the hood on it. Your concern is driving the thing. So you don't have to keep looking under the hood at all those ridiculous things going on in the engine. You just let them carry on doing their thing. The noise, in other words, the noise of the human drama, you let that just be going on its own. But you, the driver, are sitting right back with full command of the road. And you want to manifest um, things. First of all, you realize, you acknowledge that you have manifested this, whatever it is you're experiencing or perceiving yourself experiencing. This is what you've manifested so far. You'll take note that in this so far manifestation of yours, it's not all bad, not all good. It's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of yin and a mixture of yang. There's things about it that could be better. That's why you want to manifest new things. But all in all, it holds its balance, maybe a little bit tipping over into the unpleasant more than the pleasant at times. But, it's got its yin and its yang. So you then acknowledge that anything you manifest from here on in will also have its yin and its yang. And either your mind go, no, but if I manifest more money, that'll just be good. Then I won't have anything problems anymore about doing this or that. But actually, yeah, you'll have to figure out where to put the money. You might, if you haven't dealt with your fears and anxieties, you'll be afraid of losing the money or spending it wrong or whatever. There'll always be another side to it, in other words. So you're aware that this rush to manifest stuff needs to be tempered a little bit by the wisdom that says, really, does it really make any difference? Because I'm here now. This is the gift. I'm alive. This is the biggest gift of all. I'm never, ever going to manifest anything more important than just being alive. Because being alive, I can have everything. If I'm not alive, I can't do anything, can't manifest anything. So being alive is number one gift. And that's beautiful. And then you start to look at the amount of abundance there is supporting this fact at the moment, despite what your human stories describe it as. Your inner self knows, yeah, I'm here, I'm supported. The way provides for me. This is very exciting. I might not understand it or be able to make sense of it, but it's exciting. It's good to be alive. This is very beautiful. I have great abundance. I've got the universe here. This is amazing. And with that kind of attitude, that kind of energy about you, now, without investing any belief in it at all, without investing any rationale in it, without debating whether it will work or not work. In other words, do not put energy into this. You just see the picture of it. This is most important because all that does is it gets in the way. If you start trying to, is this going to work? I've really got to put my energy. I've really got to mean it. Don't. Just see the picture. Like you can see 5 ostriches dancing across the sky, wearing tutus, dancing the can-can, singing She Wore an Eeny Meeny Little Yellow Dog Puppet. You can see that, but you don't believe it. And I want you to see this in exactly the same way because it's a really powerful technique. You're running up a mountain, the zigzag path that takes you up to the peak, but you're bionic. So every step that you take propels you a ridiculous amount of distance. And you're going at such a speed that it's like you're flying up there. And you variously see it from the side, from the head camera. And when you're looking through the head camera, the road whizzing to the path, whizzing towards you, you're actually feeling the sensation. Don't believe this, right? You just see it until you're suddenly at the top with your arms up in the triumph posture. I've done it. I don't know how I did that, but I've done it. And as you've done that, you look down and you realize that at the foot of the mountain, while you were doing this enormous feat, your reward from the world, remember, none of this makes sense. You don't have to make so. Just see it. It was a whole load of people have driven up and come up in horses and cars carrying all these things like treasure chests with loads of money and amazing things and beautiful people smiling and laughing and there to be your friends and a whole feeling of love and beauty and wonderfulness. Don't believe it, just see it, just see it. It's like this amazing party, like a hoedown, and they're all really having fun. Everyone's having fun and you're loving it. So you just fly down the mountain. You run so fast, but with your arms open this time, and you get down there and you embrace everyone and everything about it, and you let that feeling be absorbed by your chest, let it come into you. So you're in your back, and the front of you now, rather than being full of fear, is full of this amazing feeling of, oh, this is lovely. I love this. I love this. Just feel that. Don't try and believe it. Just feel it. And now forget it. Let it go completely. Just let it go. However, you need to return to a snippet of that vision. It doesn't matter which bit of it. It could be you on top of the mountain looking down. It could be you down the mountain now embracing everybody and everything. You've just got to see a snippet of it very quickly, very often. Not very often, 4 times today, maybe 10 times today if you're really on it. But quick, like, and don't go, oh, I hope this is working. Or did I do that right? Just forget about it. Just see it like you see the ostriches. You just see it like, and then out. That's how it works. That's the trigger. And I would love to know in a month what sort of stuff happened, because I can't claim, oh yeah, it's all going to go amazing for you, but things will happen, and it will change the vibe. It will change the way the magic's working for you. It will definitely increase the success rate. It's weird not seeing myself, because I don't know if I look like a complete idiot, man. I don't know. Do I look it?
You look great. You've got a glowing brown suntan, and you make me look translucent by comparison. I look like totally white and pasty. But I have to say that was fantastic. That was so inspirational. It was entertaining, and it gave us another more than a glimpse of you just being in the flow and just starting to speak whatever's coming through you. I'm sure others on the call will have loved playing along with that, whether they're live or they're catching the replay later in the day or the coming days. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Stephen. That was just awesome.